Agusan National High School. It is a great pleasure that I welcome you all to this morning's presentation of Agusan National High School's contribution in the implementation of the orders of the Department of Education. It is an honor for our school to present a demonstration class in how to respond to an immediate need of our schools. This demonstration on virtual learning for junior high school students is our response not only to the order of DepEd, but more of a response to the needs of the times. This pandemic has sent us to look for appropriate teaching and learning approaches and techniques because education cannot wait for the pandemic to end. As educators, it is our mantra to look for answers to problems, to look for means to face challenges. This is now the time for us to search for solutions to the problem. And so with technology, we now dare to offer solutions by virtual learning. My dear students and parents, welcome to the new normal, and let's make the most of what we offer. May God bless us all.
On our orientation today, I'm going to give you a brief talk about virtual online learning. I'm also going to present the class schedule, duties, responsibilities of the teacher, parents or guardians, and students. After which, I will be presenting the different online platforms that we're going to use along the course of the subject. And lastly, I'm going to present the different assessment tools and feedback mechanisms. So if you have questions, feel free to ask me or message me in the chat box. Let's start. Virtual online learning. What is a virtual online learning? It is a distance learning conducted in a virtual learning environment with electronic study content designed for self-paced or live web online teaching and tutoring. It is a kind of instruction which is an alternative in the teaching learning process characterized by its being conducted outside the traditional classroom, but activities are teacher-led. It is an interactive training in which individuals are interconnected with each other and with the teacher. Schools today have resorted to this kind of training primarily because of the needs of the time, when people are advised to minimize social gatherings. Virtual learning is a necessity in this kind of the pandemic. Thanks to technology, learning has not stopped. In other countries, virtual learning has been popular in several schools because they claim learning has been very effective. Schools had started to use virtual learning several years ago. They have found that virtual learning is cheaper than that of the traditional way of teaching. Although this could be expensive on the part of the teacher, but for the learner, this is much cheaper. Travel expenses, allowances are minimized. Virtual learning is flexible. Learners can do their activities during their most productive time in their most productive place. In this way, virtual learning becomes more effective than the traditional way. On the part of us teacher, virtual learning gives chance for us to interact or connect with each of the learners. At any time, learners can get in touch with us. You parents too can have the chance to meet us at your most convenient time, with less hassles since you need not travel to school. At any time, you can confer with us so as to follow up with the status of your children. Let us now proceed to the roles, duties, and responsibilities of online teacher. These are the 8 roles of an effective online teacher. A teacher is a tour guide. A tour guide leads one or more people through a place or a series of places usually revolving around some sort of common theme or subject. Similarly, the online teacher plays the role of guiding students through one or more online learning experiences. Next, an online teacher is a cheerleader. As with all learning environments, learners often need some encouragement. The third, an online teacher is a learning coach. Many people focus on the role of a teacher as a role model, and that is valuable. However, the role of coach is just as important, even more important, if we want learners to develop high levels of competence and confidence. Next, an online teacher is an individual and group mirror. The effective online teacher finds ways to give this sort of feedback to individual learners and, when appropriate, group of learners. Next, an effective online teacher is a social butterfly. The online teacher must serve like a great party host, facilitating introductions, using discussion starters to facilitate conversations among students. Number 6, an online teacher is a big brother. Everything is documented in an online teaching. The teacher can tell when and how many times a student logs into the subject, what pages were viewed or not, how many discussion posts the student contributed, and much more. Seventh, an online teacher is a valve control. The teacher, as valve control, intentionally releases content in chunks that are appropriate for students. Sometimes, this comes in the form of only releasing content in 1 week at a time. Other times, the teacher releases it all at once, but directs students to only focus on certain parts at a time. Lastly, an effective online teacher is a co-learner. The teacher can be an active participant in online discussion, sharing what they're learning about the subject, and even complete all or parts of some assignments, sharing their works with the students. Let us now proceed to the roles, duties, and responsibilities of online students. To see if you're ready, see how many items of the following skills you have. Number 1, persistence. To support our families through this transition, here are some suggested do's and don'ts for parents navigating online learning. Do help your child create and stick to a routine. So let's proceed to the teacher's schedule. My official time is from 7:30 in the morning to 4:30 in the afternoon. I am the advisor of SPA 7A and at the same time, the SBM coordinator. If you have questions or clarifications, feel free to text, email, or call us anytime at your convenience. Here are my details together with our SPA department head, Mrs. Carolina Cortina, and the principal, Dr. Ruel T. Gabor. In our virtual meetings, I will be giving you assignments and other activities which will enrich your knowledge and ideas on topics discussed. For this, you are free to open other sources of information in order to gain answers to questions raised. Here are some suggested applications and sites: Zoom, Google Classroom, Google Meet, Skype, and Facebook Messenger Classroom are just examples of virtual classroom applications. This is where we will meet for synchronous classes. This is where we interact, communicate, view, and discuss presentation. Google Forms, Canva, Mentimeter, Google Sheets, Google Chrome, and Deped Commons are just few of the examples of online platforms. We will going to use this for you to access and submit resources, quizzes, projects, and a lot more. Along the course of our subject, I will gradually introduce you to other platforms such as Kotobi, Udemy, and so on.
Mayong buntag, ma'am. Mangutana ko kung napa may bayaran anang application nga gamiton sa mga bata. Unya, unsay mahitabo, ma'am, pananglitan na ay panahon nga mo burn out sa among dapita. Unya, walay wifi.
Mayong buntag ma'am, salamat sa pagpangutana. So wala tayo ngay kabalakan sa pangutana nimo kung naabay bayad ang mga applications nga ilang gamiton. So libre ni sila, ang angay lang buhaton nato, maghimo lang ta og email account kay naay mga platforms nga kinahanglanan og mga registration sama sa Skype o Facebook Messengers. So ang uban mga virtual classroom sama sa Zoom, Google Classroom ug uban pa Google Meet. So kinahanglanon lang na saya nga i-click. So naami ipadala nga mga links kung din i-click lang ninyo o i-redirect na mo dito sa sites nga inyong sudlan. So okay ra na siya, no? Wala tay angay kabalakan. So di na ta kinahanglan pa mo rehistro. Okay, so pag abot sa imong punto kung unsay mahitabo sa mga bata pananglitan sa tunga-tunga sa klase, mag-brown out or mawad-an og internet, so maghatag lang ko og recorded video, ipadala lang nako sa inyo ha. Kung diin inyo lang ni siyang i-view, inubanan pod sa ato ang mga assignments. So inyo na to siyang i-view, inyo to siyang ansiran og i-submit, i-email og unsay akong mga instruction dito, og instruction sa mga maestra. So ang atong tawag ana is asynchronous class. So para na siya sa mga panahon nga naay mga problema og dili na to maapas sa oras, no? Og naay mga problema sa connectivity. So okay ba ma'am? Nasabtan ba ko?
Okay na, ma'am. Salamat.